Well, I said I was going to do a video in the snow. Technically, I think it's sleeting right now because they're bigger pellets and they hit harder. Anyways, we're here to talk about paint schemes for the 2025 NASCAR schedule. Usually we do about 4 of these before the season, so this is edition 1 of 4. This one's in the snow, obviously. So yes, let's start off here. We're not doing all of them, obviously. As I said, multiple editions. I think I have 11 loaded up on my computer over there under the cover. Don't worry. I'm the only one in the conditions currently. Let's look at Brad Keselowski's number 6 Castrol car. Yeah, the rendering makes it look like a brighter green, but they actually have, as the snow picks up here, a rendition that's like real, that's the real car, and it's green. It's a darker green, and I think the darker green honestly looks better. It's nice. It's nice looking, I will say. I think it kind of reminds me of that throwback from last year. Solid paint scheme, 7.5 out of 10. All right, next up we got Daniel Suarez's Freeway Insurance scheme. This is a sponsor he's had for a while. He's run the same paint scheme since they joined Trackhouse, but Trackhouse, once again, they updated it, and once again, as I said, Trackhouse nails a paint scheme. The number 99 looks really good right here. All blue versus, previously they had some white in there. They still have a white stripe kind of line in there, but it flows nice. The color looks nice, the blue itself, and then, of course, the green, the chrome numbers. Of course, Suarez won with Freeway Insurance at what was it? Atlanta last year. Yes, that was it, the 3-wide photo finish. How could I forget? But yes, Daniel Suarez's 99 looks really good. It's a solid, I'm going to go with an 8.5. I think an 8.5 out of 10 works. Once again, solid looking car. And speaking of Trackhouse, we have Shane Van Gisbergen about to do his rookie year. Number 88 WeatherTech car. This had been released when he was announced to the 88, I believe, but it's the standard WeatherTech scheme. It looks similar to his Xfinity car, similar to the Cup races he ran last year. I mean, it's white, like the snow here, and it's got some red and blue. It's simple, not too much, not too little. It's got a little color in there. It's a solid, that's an 8 out of 10. All right, next we got Alex Bowman's new Ally scheme. He does a new Ally scheme every single year. Yeah, I remember the first, no, not with Bowman, the Jimmy Johnson ones. There were a couple of rough ones there, but then ever since Bowman's taken over, I feel like they've opened up their creativity in a sense. And they've once again done it. It's a darker car this year. I remember last year was the all purple, basically, or different shades of purple with some pink in there. It's really coming down now. So anyways, there's some black in there, some purple, some pink. They didn't use as much teal. That's 2 straight years. I still think that 2023 paint scheme, I still think that was the best Ally paint scheme, and I stand by it. This is still solid. Looking back at those first couple of Ally paint schemes, those were, I hate to say rough, but compared to what we ended up getting, they were rough. So 7.5. It's not my favorite Ally paint scheme, but it's still a pretty good scheme. All right, next up here, we got Todd Gilliland in the 34. That's going to take some getting used to. But yeah, Todd Gilliland now in the 34 car. It's the standard Loves paint scheme. It's a solid scheme, kind of like what I said with the WeatherTech. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Nothing too complicated, nothing over the top, not too simple. 8, I guess, if that's our standard setting here. Next up, we got William Byron's new Axalta paint scheme. They gave him his own look for a while with like the stripes, the colored stripes, because Axalta paint and all that. And then they went back to the flames last year, and it wasn't bad. I mean, I think the flames on the 24 usually look good. But then they massively stepped it up this year. Like, once again, last year's car, it was solid, it was all right, but it wasn't the best Axalta scheme. But this year's, it's pretty, safe to say. You got the flames, the red flames, the orange, the yellow, and then the base underneath of it is kind of a blue paint scheme, a navy almost, it looks like, especially when you look from the back side of the car. Really pretty paint scheme, the Neon 24 as always, and yeah, I really like this paint scheme. I can't wait to see it on track. I really hope that they use it more than they usually use Axalta. They only used it, I think, 2 times last year, so hopefully we see it more than that. but I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10. Next, we got Joey Logano. Finally. Okay, so I made a comment after he won the championship that his paint scheme was boring, and people got, like, three whole people got mad at me for calling it bad or boring or whatever. Well, this isn't boring. They brought, in a sense, you know, they used to have the Penske, what was it, the Penske scallops or whatever they were called, the Penske stripes, whatever they were called on the side of the car. But then the next gen hit. It didn't really fit the style of car. But this is so much better than what we had in the past. Just the boring yellow. We got some red in it now. Some red that kind of slowly trails to the middle of the car. But this looks so much better. I'm so glad they added just a little bit of creativity. I'm going to go 8.5. I really like that they upgraded this. I think that is the main reason I'm rating this so high. Is because I didn't like the old scheme. I thought the old scheme was too bland, too boring. But this, they added something to it. And it just makes it pop a little bit more. Just a little bit more red does that much more for me. Got Prosper, Texas' own Chris Buescher. I think it's snowing in Prosper, or sleeting, or winter weathering in Prosper. We're close enough here. Yeah, this is a really good paint scheme here. Usually they kind of, I feel like they alternate at this point between the black base and the white base in terms of the Fastenal paint scheme. As a Berkeley flying by, that's exciting. But this year they decided to go with the white. The middle of the car, that little bit on the hood, the chrome numbers as they now do at RFK. I think it's solid. I think it's a good paint scheme. I'm interested to see how it looks on the track. I'm going to give it an 8 for now. I'm being very optimistic in these paint schemes, I feel like. Because really, out of the ones here, there's not really a horrendously bad one, but this next one is not my favorite. Kyle Busch's Rebel Bourbon scheme. I liked last year's. I thought it was a solid, really good paint scheme. And they didn't just do a tweak, they completely redid it. It's now supposed to look like a barrel, I guess, like a bourbon barrel. I appreciate the creativity. I appreciate it. But still not my favorite. I still, as I said, prefer last year's paint scheme. I'm going to go a 6 on this. It's not the worst paint scheme. I can't say that, but I'm not necessarily a fan of it. So, I don't know. Maybe that's an unpopular opinion. Now we have Kyle Larson's Valvoline paint scheme. Yeah, it's a red car. I feel like the majority of Larson's Valvoline schemes are red. So, once again, going with the red base, going with some blue at the bottom, or some navy, I should say. Roof numbers in navy, kind of blue. You got some white on the roof as well, down on the sides. The red at the front bumper, I don't know why, but I like that. It's very random, but I don't know why. I just like it. Should make it easy to identify on the track. Solid 7.5. No notes outside of the ones I gave you. And then the last one we're going to look at is Chase Elliott's Prime Video paint scheme. This one released yesterday. We actually talked about it just a tiny bit yesterday, but solid paint scheme. Honestly, I really like it. It's kind of what I've said about some other paint schemes where it's simple, but it's not too simple in a sense. I'm repeating myself for a lot of these paint schemes, but it's a really solid looking car. The shade of blue's nice. The number's nice. The car itself looks good. I mean, there were a couple rough paint schemes for Elliott there not too long ago, but they've really picked it up last year with the Hooters paint scheme. The Napa paint scheme's continuously gotten better as it sleets harder. But now this Prime Video, it's one of his better paint schemes, I feel like. It's a really good paint scheme. I'm going to go at 8.5 out of 10. Really solid paint scheme. So that's all we got for today. We'll do one of these maybe once a week. Depends on how I feel. But we'll do a few of these before the off-season ends. The regular season begins. We might even do one after the Clash. But I enjoy the snow. I enjoy snow videos. We did one last year, but look at this. This year's snow, you can make a snowball and launch it, you know? So, did I hit the tree? I hit the tree. That's so cool. But Anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's kind of weird, not the normal setting, but I appreciate you watching. I thought I'd do something fun while it's snowing here. We don't get snow a lot here, but they were right for once. We actually got a good bit of snow and sleet and all that. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoy. I'll see you guys in the next one. Any other videos today or tomorrow will be snow videos.
It may have been the bottom of the tree, but I still technically hit it, so ha.